Welcome back to the 1% Mind. You are sitting at your desk with a career-defining project in front of you. You have your coffee, your notes are ready, and you are determined to finally get this done. You write the first sentence. But then a specific physical sensation washes over you, a tiny, invisible itch in the back of your brain. It's a feeling of slight, almost imperceptible boredom. Before your logical mind registers the shift, your right hand reaches out, picks up your phone, and your thumb swipes up. You intended to take a 5-second break, but you are now caught in a short-form video feed. A 15-second cooking video. Swipe. A comedian's joke. Swipe. A podcast clip. Swipe, swipe, swipe. When you finally snap out of the trance, 45 minutes have vanished. You are staring at an empty document with foggy eyes and a sense of self-loathing. It is easy to conclude that your attention span is naturally broken or that you have developed adult ADHD. You feel like you have lost total control of your own mind. This loss of agency is not a moral failing. You are witnessing the intended result of a multi-billion-dollar algorithmic war designed to fracture your ability to concentrate. In Silicon Valley, behavioral psychologists and engineers are paid millions to optimize a single metric: time on device. Platforms like TikTok and Instagram Reels function as weaponized dopamine delivery systems. They are psychological traps engineered to ensure you never put the device down. This engineering relies on a variable ratio reward schedule, the same logic used to make casino slot machines addictive. As this diagram shows, the mechanical lever and the thumb swipe feed into the same reward node. The unpredictability is the hook. You swipe until the algorithm serves a video perfectly aligned with your interests. Jackpot. The reward node spikes, triggering a feedback loop. This flood of dopamine into the prefrontal cortex keeps the brain in a state of constant anticipation. You aren't watching for enjoyment. You are swiping because your brain doesn't know when the next jackpot is coming. By modeling their feeds after gambling mechanics, these platforms have successfully hijacked the human neurochemistry of reward and habit. Beyond the dopamine hit, short-form content physically alters the neuroplasticity of your brain. Every 15 seconds, you are forced to process entirely new emotional and visual contexts. You jump from a comedy sketch to a news tragedy to a dance trend in under a minute. This rapid-fire cycling trains your brain to crave constant novelty as its baseline state. Your mind becomes conditioned to expect a high-stimulus shift 4 times every minute. This creates a visceral conflict when you attempt a slow, cognitively demanding task like financial modeling, coding, or reading a dense book. Because the real world does not change its context every 15 seconds, it feels agonizingly slow. To a brain conditioned by these algorithms, a lack of rapid stimulation is interpreted as physical discomfort. You haven't lost the ability to read. You have trained your mind to become allergic to the depth and slowness required to do it. Many professionals operate under the illusion that bouncing between 20 open tabs, emails, and messaging apps is a sign of efficiency. They believe they are hustling. Biologically, the human brain is incapable of parallel processing complex tasks. You can only task switch. Every switch incurs a massive cognitive tax. Psychologists call this attention residue. Moving from a spreadsheet to an email leaves your focus stuck on the previous task, reducing your active capacity bar. Add in a second switch for a chat notification shrinks available focus further. You return to primary work, operating with reduced cognitive capacity. Because your brain requires time to unload the previous task, checking your phone every 10 minutes keeps you in a state of continuous cognitive impairment. You are effectively performing complex work, while your functional intelligence is dampened by the residue of a dozen distractions. This explains why a 9-hour workday can leave you feeling exhausted, despite having produced nothing of actual value. You spent the day drowning in the shallow waters of context switching. While the majority of the workforce is occupied with shallow work, tasks like emails and meetings that are easily automated, the elite 1% prioritize deep work. Deep work is the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task to produce something rare and valuable. In a distracted economy, this level of concentration is a superpower. Reclaiming this power requires the digital fasting protocol. You must reset your dopamine baseline by treating your phone as a toxic object during the first and last hours of every day. You must also create friction. If you use short-form apps for work, access them only via a desktop computer. This breaks the subconscious habit of reaching into your pocket the moment you feel bored. Phase 2 is the fortress of solitude. Elite performers don't use willpower to fight distraction. They architect environments where distraction is physically impossible. When it is time to work, the phone goes in another room, the Wi-Fi is disabled if possible, and noise-canceling headphones go on. You must treat your attention like a vault. Phase 3 is the 90-minute sprint, aligning with your ultradian rhythms. The first 15 minutes form a friction wall. Your brain struggles, manufacturing fake emergencies to escape mental strain. Sit through this discomfort. At 20 minutes, friction dissolves, and focus intensity ascends into flow state. In this state, the internal noise goes silent and time distorts. You begin operating at your absolute peak cognitive capacity, connecting dots and producing high-level output with supernatural ease. After 90 minutes, you stop. You step away from the desk to let your prefrontal cortex recover. Executing just 2 of these deep work sprints a day allows you to produce more high-quality work than a distracted person produces in a week. As shallow work becomes increasingly automated, a divide is forming. On one side are the distracted, whose attention is harvested for revenue. On the other are the architects, who produce the rare, complex work that machines cannot replicate. The architect views focus as a sacred resource. They possess the ability to block out the noise and dive to the absolute bottom of the intellectual ocean to find what others miss. You must decide which side of that divide you want to occupy. You can let an algorithm dictate the trajectory of your mind, or you can reclaim your sovereign focus. Your attention is your primary currency. Leaving it unguarded allows marketers and algorithms to steal it from you every 5 minutes. Lock the vault. Reclaiming your focus is only the first step. To sustain this level of deep work, you need a specific type of physical and mental fuel. In Video 7, we will explore the frameworks the 1% use to audit their energetic output, eliminate energy vampires, and physically prime their bodies for high-pressure work. If you are ready to stop giving your attention away for free, hit the like button and subscribe to the 1% Mind. Share this with one person who is struggling to stay focused. Your attention is your empire. Protect it.